Many people may be wondering if now is a good time to get a new car. Have good deals maybe popped up in light of the pandemic? Executive Vice President of Operations at Swapalease, Scot Hall, joins us to let us know what he thinks if now is the time to get the best deal on a new ride and how the auto industry is being impacted by the pandemic. Welcome, Scott.
Hey, thank you for having me on today.
Yeah. Oh, no problem, Scott. Talk about COVID-19. Has it affected sales in the auto industry?
Without question, there's been quite an effect as a result of COVID-19. A couple of the main things that we've seen is we are starting to see the manufacturers really offer some very attractive deals. And the other part of the equation that we're seeing getting kind of catching up at this point are the factories are reopening and producing cars. So I anticipate that in the very near future, it's going to be an excellent time for consumers to look for their next vehicle, whether they buy it or lease it.
Okay, you say near future. So what about right now? Is it a good time to be car shopping to buy a new car?
Right now is a good time as well. The only problem that we're running into right now is inventories are a little bit low as the factories are getting ramped back up and getting the supply back up for dealers to have cars on their lots for available for consumers. So those remaining vehicles that are on the lots presently, those are going to be good deals as well. And I think things are even going to get more attractive as we move forward over the next month or two.
Okay, so I'm hearing you, Scott. You're saying maybe hold off just a little bit. What about when it comes to leasing? Is leasing a better option right now, or you think we're going to get better deals coming up?
You know, I think it's going to get back to the supply side on that as well, but the manufacturers are already offering some very attractive lease deals. One of the things we do on swapalease.com is we do a monthly lease index where we track about 60 different vehicles through different classes, stemming from economy cars all the way up to luxury SUVs. And we saw a significant drop in prices towards the end of May from what we track. In fact, 25% of the vehicles that we tracked were showing more attractive lease options available than even just the month before. So things are definitely moving the right way for consumers.
Oh, yeah, that does sound good. Would you say that the deals right now are better because of the pandemic?
I do believe that a lot of that stems from the pandemic, either directly or indirectly. And of course, dealers were were a little bit handcuffed, if you will, for selling vehicles, and the general market was also down, which created interest rates to go, or which caused interest rates to go lower. And of course, lower interest rates help out car sales as well, and that includes leasing.
Now, has the process to lease or buy cars, has that had to change? We've seen a lot of businesses have to adapt their operations.
You know, there definitely has been a lot of adaptation by dealerships and what have you. One of the most notable, I had a friend just recently. He was up for a new vehicle and time to purchase a vehicle, and one of the most difficult things he had to do is actually find time that he could go in and schedule test drives, because they wanted to make sure social distancing was being followed, and of course not only keeping the consumer safe but also the employees at the dealership. So a little bit different animal. It's kind of a new wrinkle, if you will, when it comes to buying a vehicle.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Now, what about long-term effects? Do you see any as a result of the pandemic when it comes to the auto industry in general?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think that's going to remain to be seen. I think there's a couple of different scenarios that could play out. Number one, I think people may very well want to move away from public transportation to some degree because they may have some concerns over how clean public transportation may be, and of course being in close proximity to others. So that may be a driver of selling more vehicles. Now, it could also be offset to some degree by more people having the ability to work from home or work remotely. So it'll be interesting to see which one of those two factors kind of wins out.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. That's a good take. And what about automakers? Should they continue to keep employees in those factories producing the vehicles, or are you worried about any adverse effects? I know you said some of the supply may be low as far as new vehicles available.
I think they definitely should be continuing to produce vehicles. There's still going to be a need for vehicles. I think what we may also see, and of course, being from Swapalease, and maybe I'm a little biased to the leasing side of the equation, but if people are going to be still needing cars, it is possible that they are going to be driving a little bit less. Again, getting back to the work at home idea, or maybe they're combining trips so they don't put themselves in front of as many people when they go to the grocery store or other types of stores. And lower mileage limitation or lower mileage needs, pardon me, not limitations, is a good thing for leasing. That will make monthly payments very attractive to consumers, and it may fit very well for a lot of folks' budgets.
Well, great insight this morning, Scott, with Swapalease. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you very much.
This interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.